FarCon is Farcaster's annual event organized by the community for innovators, builders, and network contributors. FarHack and Builders Day are FarCon's hackathon, with awards presented at the end of FarCon. As a bonus, GM Farcaster captured interviews in the media loft with Rachel Wilkins and toadyhawk, and FarCon organizers Dylan and Emma. Our interview with Rachel and Toady is up first, followed by the FarHack Awards, and then a closing chat with Dylan and Emma. Thank you to all the sponsors who made this conversation possible, including media partner GM Farcaster, media sponsor NounSTOW, and the FarCon team of volunteers. Learn more at farcon.nyc.
So GM Farcaster, we are back in our little podcast studio, and we are here with toadyhawk and Rachel Wilkins. And first off, I just want to say, how are you liking FarCon? What's been your favorite thing so far? I'm going to start with you, Rachel. What's your favorite thing so far?
Favorite thing so far is just walking into the room and seeing how much it's scaled since last year. I mean, I didn't have the privilege, like the two of you, to be at the first one, but just to see that growth and really kind of see it in person is really, really cool. And
we literally could have, I think we could have fit everybody up here in the first one, like pretty much.
Okay,
it's exciting.
Flex. Okay, flex.
Yeah.
That and just like getting IRL hugs and like really having meaningful conversations. It's been really fun.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, is despite the scale, you still like don't feel that awkwardness that you usually feel at a conference. I mean, you go to like Eat Denver, so I mean, nothing against Eat Denver, but
massive.
It's like a lot of your conversations, you're like, how do I get out of this? But at FarCon, you just don't feel that way. You're like, these are cool people. Now everyone's like, when did I talk to Toady at Eat Denver? He was trying to get away the whole time. No, but and then also like just like you said, having good conversations with other builders. Like synergy just kind of emerged naturally because you're all trying to build something similar. So.
And you get ideas from each other, and it's almost like it's a, what's that word I'm looking for, Adrian? It's like a
Esteez.
There you go.
Didn't you write a
Esteez.
paper on that?
Esteez.
I wrote a book report about Esteez.
She wrote a book report on Esteez. This is the first year we haven't had a Esteez talk, and I was a little disappointed that you didn't apply to do that this year.
It's
but
time.
Okay,
It's
can
time
we
to
bring
move
it back
on.
at like year 5, maybe? Yeah. Okay. By the way, Les is going to make us 5-year jackets for all the people who make it to year 5, like SNL.
Like if you don't die, or like.
Like as long as we don't die and we're still actually there, we get don't die. I need that hat. So while we're here, what I want to talk to you about is Betterment, and so talk about what it is, and then we'll talk about how Rachel got involved with that as well. And so, what is Betterment, and what's the purpose and the goal of it?
Okay. Well, Betterment is a mini app. It's my first mini app, and I like to say I vibe coded it, which means that I vibed, and my friend coded it. But no,
I think that's the best way to do it. I think that's how we're doing everything. Like we're vibe coding.
But
I'm vibing. She's coding.
I'm really glad I did it that way though, because I was thinking of like actually vibe coding it, but I was like, there's a lot of transactions involved. Like this is not a good idea. So I partnered up with my friend NetNose that I know through the Yellow Collective, and he did all the dev on it. But the idea basically is very simple. It's like it takes the idea of mint incentivization like Boost Protocol or Layer 3, instead of like just having it where you mint on pods or a different platform and you get back meme coins like an 80% rebate. This is just kind of takes that, turns it on its head, and gamifies it into a mini app where you get into the app, you see a piece of content featured, you mint it, and however many editions you mint, you get that many tickets, you spin a nice fun neon wheel, and you get meme coin prizes. Could be up to 100x what you minted. So it adds a little bit of dopamine, a little bit of a thrill. People seem to really like it. We're kind of going with like, I've been calling out Yapster a lot because I think they did a really good job of like making people get excited about a daily moment, which is something we know a little bit.
Right, we know a little
thing or
something
two
about that.
with
Yeah,
nouns,
a daily moment.
Yeah, I'm all about like daily moments.
Building
on chain.
content around a daily moment. You have experience with
I know
this
a
of
thing or
some
two
sort?
about that. So I thought that's good, and we're actually not doing it daily right now. We're kind of again following in Yapster's footsteps of doing a game, taking a break, iterating, getting feedback, and seeing how it goes. So we did one game.
Salvino's going to be so excited to hear you say all this.
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, big fan of Salvino and everything he's building.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we did one game on Tuesday. That was our launch, and actually that's sort of how Rachel came into the picture. I reached out and I was like, hey, can we feature? The good news is her podcast on Pods as our first featured creator. Obviously, we have our own podcast that was zeroized, but I didn't want it to be like, hey, Toady's shoving more of his own content down your throat with a new app. So we definitely wanted
It's a new app and another way to hear Toady.
On me!
So I was like, let's find some other creators that we can help out and amplify. Rachel, like to her credit, was like, yeah, let's do it right away. So she had an episode with Luca Netz recently. We put that up. We went live. It was like basically 2 hours. or until the meme coins are gone. And our friends over at Runner Coin, which was one of the first clankers, the first clanker.
The first clanker. It's all
after
debatable.
Clanker,
It's all debatable. We know.
that was launched, and Darko from Runner was nice enough to contribute some coins for that. So we went live with that, and like less than 2 hours, all the mints were gone. She had over 2,000 mints on the pod, which is like it represents like 0.3 or 0.4 ETH, I think, in earnings for her. So yeah, it was
Great,
pretty cool. And,
fantastic.
Yeah, maybe we
So,
can ask her how it was.
so yours was the first, and it's your episode with Lucanets.
Yep.
Where was that recorded? Tell us a little bit about that in terms of the content.
So that episode was actually recorded like over a year ago in Paris. So I had to like chop it down.
That's
and
what I thought.
Cut some
I was
things
like,
that were like no longer relevant. I was like, gotta cut that. But it kind of goes back to like I've had that content, and I've got a lot of content sitting in the bank right now that I haven't brought on chain because I hadn't really seen like a compelling reason to do it. And if I can just kind of circle back. So I had a podcast from 2022 to 2023. No, 21 to 23. I had 100,000 plus downloads on that
Wow.
podcast.
Crazy.
It's still a trending podcast in the arts section.
Wow.
I don't make a dime, right? And I don't know probably 1% of the people who downloaded that episode. I couldn't tell you anything about them. Now, granted, there was ways that I was able to monetize it. Like I had things like a lead
Right.
magnet that I would, mention during the episode, and the odd advertiser here and there. But overall, in that 2-year period, despite the fact that it was over 100,000 downloads, I probably made less than $10,000 total.
Yeah.
So now
Yeah.
you're looking at this new model where it's like, okay, great, there's pods, that's awesome. We can, see kind of where the episode is, being minted, who's minting it, what else is in their wallet. But now with Betterment, there's this whole other layer, tapping into this gamification, pairing up with, token communities, and then there's just great financial rails where creators can really start to make some money from the content, because we all make content. It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of
But
work.
see, like the
lot
problem
of
is always
work.
distribution, though, right? Like
Yeah.
you can make
Yeah.
great content, you put it on chain,
Yep.
and even if you use like these great protocols like Boost and like Layer 3, which I do use also, like they're amazing, but there's still a distribution problem, especially with like Boost, where you can put meme coins up as a rebate, but it's like if a tree falls in the forest and no one's around, if no one knows the Boost is there, it doesn't work, right? So if you have reach, like I'm lucky to have some reach on FarCaster, you have reach, we're lucky you can do a Boost and people will go and get it. But if you're a smaller content creator,
Right.
you don't have a following yet, whatever, no one's going to know your Boost is there, so it doesn't really have the same flywheel effect. So that was kind of the inspiration for this, is like, how do we make a moment that people are like, oh, I just want to go and see. Now people are coming to the content and they're like, it's just like a means to an end, but they're still collecting your content, it's still ending up in their wallet, and the rewards are still ending up in your wallet. So it's,
I think it's also for us. So we were the second or the third? Second.
Second.
So we're the second one.
Yesterday.
By the way, he picked you first, so there you go.
Well, he only picked me first because he asked, because I was
Now.
like, no, because I said,
kidding, that was a joke.
I said I literally have a 12-episode series ready to go, and
Yeah.
we haven't launched it yet
Yeah.
officially. Maybe we should do it with you guys. And so he was like,
Amazing.
sure.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of like
Yeah.
on-chain kind of communities, right? It's like, let's just kind of iterate and support
Absolutely.
each other where we can. So.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we did the second one, and it was a pod that we've already had out for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
It was an interview with Dan, and it had minted pretty well. It was it was on the trending and all that kind of stuff. But it's like, okay, now it's it
Run
needed
its
a new
course or
life.
whatever, yeah.
So this is a great way to give it another life of like, here's giving that attention again. It's not irrelevant yet. It's still evergreen. It's good. It's good to go. And so this was a great way to like bring back some more attention to it, both from a perspective of people collecting, but also from the perspective of hopefully them watching it and seeing it and learning, what happened in that particular
Yeah.
episode. So
It was a good
yeah.
episode for the first day of FarCon too. So
Yeah, perfect.
made sense.
Perfect. I love it. So what's next? What are we doing next with Betterment? When is it going next again? And how do people learn
So
more about it?
I still consider us like very much in beta. We've just done 2 games. We're doing another one tomorrow, so a new piece of content coming out tomorrow. But the first one went so well that Rachel was like, how can we keep doing this? So she was like, how about we do every Monday,
Fantastic.
going forward. And then we were at the base event yesterday, and we were chatting with Apex from Vail. And he
Are
was
you
like,
allowed to
this
talk
Wait,
about
you
this
just
yet?
said it out loud.
Yeah, no, it's
You
okay.
can say it now. It's
Yeah.
official.
Well, so it's not live. It's not
We're
live.
gonna
It's
hold
next
him
week.
to it 'cause he
It's
said
actually
it.
going to be out next week, so don't worry.
It's okay. We had the conversation. It's binding. So he was like, yeah.
It's binding. We have a contract.
Yeah, it's on camera. We got you.
We did.
Got you, Apex.
I did close him like there and then.
Yeah, she's a shark. But no, she was like.
She's fantastic like that.
So this is an interesting thing. Is like not just talking about Apex, but lots of meme coin communities have been like in my DMs, being like, how can we be involved? Which is really interesting because we've been sort of using this strategy. A lot of which I learned from Blueprint. So shout out Adam Levy and those guys. These strategies about using meme coins to incentivize memes in different ways, but the sort of bottleneck is getting communities to give you the coins, right? Which should be win-win-win because a lot of these communities have coins that they can't really use. They can't dump them on their community, or they hopefully wouldn't dump them on their community. So it is a great way to use it to support creators like us, like you. Makes a little like win-win-win where the project gets a bit of promotion, the creator makes money, the collector gets a little bonus. But despite it being so positive sum, it actually still is difficult, in my experience anyway, to get people to actually give you the coins. We had 1 month sponsored by Clanker. Shout out our friends from Clanker. We're doing some work with Clank Fund, but overall just been difficult to find people. But now with this Betterment thing, just because it's got a little bit of hype and a little bit of dopamine, people are dropping in our DMs being like, how do we get featured?
Great.
So that's what happened with Apex. Apex is like, love you, love what you guys are doing. How do we use Veil for this? And so she was
Fantastic.
She's like, let's do 10 weeks of Veil. She just,
How much do you want? $10,000. Okay.
Okay.
So shout out Apex. He's always
great.
supporting other builders. But yeah, so the next 10
weeks
of Betterment will all be the good news is, and you'll be able to earn Veil.
Earn Veil on it.
when you do it.
Fantastic.
What a great way to show a use case for on-chain content. Like in terms of like wrapping it up as like a media deal. Like there's now multiple layers, right? There's we're putting the episode on pods. We're partnering for a gamification model with Betterment, but also we're activating another meme coin. So there's this like kind of loop that's hopefully serving all three communities.
And we got Coinbase Wallet launching where they're like putting mini apps front and center. So if you load up the new Coinbase Wallet app, we're like right in the trending with the mini apps. So I'm bullish on that.
I think that's kind of what all of us are doing. Like what unites all of us here is like we're all kind of living out loud and learning out loud these tools and showing other content creators what's possible.
Absolutely.
And just experimenting. Like you have to.
And experimenting.
Someone said this to me yesterday. I can't remember who it was, but they're like, if you're an on-chain creator, you have to have like cobble together a living in a way. Like you have to like, a little bit of this. I'm going to sell some shirts. I'm going to so you kind of have to figure out a way to make it work, and you do that by experimenting in lots of different.
Exactly. Adrian, any questions for our folks before we let them
Now comes the hardball question. She's been thinking over there.
Coinbase Wallet. I know they were talking about really wanting to go after creators, like making this really good experience for video creators. And any thoughts on what you want to see? Like, what would make that really good for you guys?
I mean, I say this to Jesse every time he asks me, or anyone from base. So like, it's all about discovery. You just have to surface the content for people to see.
So it's not even tools. Like, it's not even creator tools.
I don't think it's
so
tools.
Much.
I think the tools are there. Actually,
I
mean, Web 2 tools are fine for creating, right? Like, we don't need we don't need to reinvent ways to make video content. We need ways for people to discover video content and for creators to get paid in a seamless way for good content.
Mine is aggregation because I find myself right now, I have 10 apps on my home screen, and that's not just on chain, obviously. That's like, your YouTube Shorts, TikTok. And I right now have to go into every individual one, and it's at least 90 minutes of work to do that.
Are you talking about like accessing your communities and all those places?
No, posting to all the places.
Like posting everywhere.
And so I ended up talking to the head of the head engineer for Coinbase Wallet yesterday.
Yeah.
And he
was up here earlier with us.
I assume what he was saying is already public knowledge, but he was like, essentially from the feed, you'll be able to coin, it'll be an option, but from the feed within the wallet, you'll be able to say, I want to coin that, or I want to, mint that, or you'll have all of that. And I said, well, what happens to, Zora and Rhoda? He's like, well, it will be under the hood, but they will still exist as independent apps. So
they're all protocols.
Sounds like Coneroid.
Sounds like
I was just going to say, isn't that what you just built today?
We built it,
we built that.
I think one of the challenges we've always talked to people about when they come to FarCaster is like, if you see it as just like another like app to post to, like everyone wants it to be easy, but like the need to be like curating how you talk, like posting to TikTok is slightly different than instant. Like,
That's
so
true, yeah.
I don't even know
And
what
by
tools
design
make it
too,
easier.
like you get like TikTok saying, oh, it's got to be a minute or longer, and then you
Right.
get YouTube
And
Shorts
it's like
being
no
like it's
more
got to be a
than
minute or
65
less.
seconds
It's like,
or
come on,
less,
guys,
yeah.
like, we're doing it on purpose. They want you to-
Whoever like unlocks this, where you could upload one piece of content and AI would optimize it for whichever version of social it was
Yeah.
going to.
Yeah, I'll be like, hello, fellow kids.
Yeah. That's a big win.
Yeah.
So
That's
I
funny
don't-
because every time I go into, I'm taking the show notes that I just put on YouTube with no problem and put them into Spotify, and I have to cut like, 1,000 words or like 1,000
like
characters,
any
and I'm
podcast
like,
you're
can
putting
you
it on
just do
five
the
different
same?
platforms. You got different thumbnails,
Yeah.
different formats,
Yep.
different title formats. It's like it's such a pain in the ass when you're putting a podcast, and then you got to do your on-chain stuff. So it takes like 3 hours to post a podcast episode.
And that's
Yep.
not
At least-
tangible. That's not like manageable.
At least it's easy to monetize. So there's that. Okay.
Wait a minute.
Betterment.
Yes.
This isn't a question. I'm just going to tell you what comes to mind when I hear the word betterment.
Okay.
Double
This
Make
isn't a
Dumb,
question.
Yeah.
or
It's
better,
refreshing.
or Better Man by Pearl Jam.
Both.
So
Both were
which
big
one are
inspirations.
we? Yeah.
No, the name. I don't know. Like the name.
Every
had a
time
lot
I
of-
say Betterment, just so you know, I sing Better Man in my head. I'm like,
Okay.
Betterman,
That's
Betterman.
okay. I'm glad I'm not alone.
Okay.
We're gonna make a-
I've literally done that. Yes.
I'm gonna have to get Jack Wallets to do a recording of that and like
Do a little something.
Betterment.
Yeah.
Only 30 seconds, so you'll get a copyright infringement.
But yeah, no, the
There you
name
go.
just kind of came from an idea of like melding, like betting on creators and like minting and like for the betterment of creators. And then the token we have is better. Can I show tokens on
Sure.
GM Farcaster? It's a clanker.
Yeah,
Okay,
we're
what's-
over it now.
It's a clanker.
crime.
But that's
Have you
also
not heard
very-
it's crime
very-
season?
What's
We're
better,
good.
good
Crime
or
is
better?
legal now.
It's all
Better
good.
is like we usually say, get good, but get better.
Get better.
Okay, so good is worse than better?
Yeah,
Hey,
the good,
hey.
the good news is you can get better. Okay.
Or it could get good. Just saying.
GM,
good.
the good news is you can get better. There we go.
All right.
There's a lot of synergy here.
All brought to you by Zero Rights
Yeah, zero
Media.
rights, zero rights reserved.
And the last thing I'll say, again, not a question, but thank you both for helping co-host GM Farcaster for all the
Oh,
many
yes.
times that
Not
I'm
Adrian,
not
at your
here.
service.
Yeah.
So much fun.
These are two of our regular
Go-tos.
fill-ins.
But never together. So I heard people speculating that we were the same person because you've
Yeah,
never seen
and now
us
you know they're in the
host
same room
at the
together.
same time.
I just had to shave this morning.
Yeah.
Just to,
Yeah. We usually
Just to
body
prove
doubles.
it. Just to prove it. They're not the
She
same.
does all her own stunts too.
do.
We didn't do that.
True story.
Thank you guys so much. We're going to head back down for the next part of FarCon.
Let's go.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Should I say who we are first? Yeah, cool. Hi, I'm Andrew. I'm at Privy. We're the fastest way to onboard your users and then get them a wallet and do really cool things on chain with that. And the winner for us was Spotacast by builders.garden, wherever you are. Back there? Do they come up or no?
Yeah, if you.
Well, I'll do a picture afterwards. but you guys
Cool.
should come
I don't have a giant check to give you. I'm so sorry.
We'll handle that.
Okay. Talent is next, and the winner is Talent Patches. And Carlos and Chap, congratulations. Yeah, for making reputation legible so that we can see all the builders out there. Good job. Who's next?
All right, so Nouns Bounty was a little different. It was voted on by the Nouners and Little Nouners on Warpcast. So when you look at the likes, you may see one that has a lot of likes. That's not necessarily the winner. And the winner was the team from Noun Space. And so Willy Wonka and crew. And they're also getting some gold noggles. So there you go. And then all the teams, all the winners from the hackathon, we do have some noggles over here for you as well.
Are Steve or Bryce here? I can do EASs. All right, EASs also was Talent badges, double bounty winners. Congratulations, chaps.
For y'all who were at Samuel's talk earlier, so the winner of our hackathon would be Ask Gina. Yeah, so I can say that the entire team was like up all evening hacking on that, and this was like the first company on Samuel's list of most underutilized protocols. So in the future, you'll be able to say, like, just put a photo. I think their example was mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the richest of them all, and it was like look on Farcaster, so you can start playing around with more financial stuff like that. That was pretty cool.
Hey everyone, how's it going? Very, very excited. Just the big green one? All right. Very excited to announce our grand prizes. So I will just quickly tell you about these. We are going to have a best interoperable project. This isn't essentially I use X chain and Y chain, but just using all these different tools together. And then we have third, second, and first place. And we are going to make sure to coordinate paying out all these bounties, as well as putting all the projects up on the official FarHack website so everyone can go and play around with them. And also, Gabriel from the Farcaster team made a great suggestion. If you have a mini app, add FarCon 2025 as a tag in your mini app data, and it can be surfaced, and maybe we can do something fun and show off some of these. But without further ado, I'm going to start with the best interoperable project. The winner is Follow. Whoa. Wrong button, everyone. Sorry. Let's pretend I didn't say that. And the winner is Followcast by JX, Sean C, and the rest. Thank you all so much. Now we're going to do the third place prize, a little smoother this time. In third place as the grand prize winner, we have Debbie Does Never Have I Ever by Debbie. In second place, we have FC Trivia by Matthew Fox and Eric. Really cool to see this one come back. I'm sure a lot of you were there when Ted was first emceeing for FC Trivia. Congrats, team. Can we get a little bit of a drum roll for the first prize? Maybe hands on laps. And the first place grand prize winner in the FarCon Builders Day Hackathon is AI or Not by Vishal Mathur. Yeah, on a last note, just thank you all so much, obviously, for coming to FarCon, for participating in Builders Day. It means so much that everyone wants to show up here at 4 p.m. on a Friday and listen to all these projects. The amount of people who are making projects, this was a 24-hour hackathon with 24K in prizes. My personal goal is to keep driving the time down, and seeing everyone who was able to come in and build something on the fly, win all these prizes, just like inspires me to continue building on Farcaster, hopefully inspires you as well. So thank you all so much. I believe now we would just like to call the winners up here. We can take some photos if you would like. And thank you all so much. Hope you have a great rest of your day and enjoy all the side events this weekend.
Thank you, guys. We really appreciate it. This is an amazing FarCon. Thank you, Emma. I can't wait to drink.
Congratulations, you won the base bounty.
Shut up.
Yes, you won the base bounty.
Why didn't you announce it?
Because we didn't get it in time for the slides. Because the base person, you guys won.
Oh,
To a
yay.
nice surprise at the base event at 5.
Oh, wow, amazing. All right.
I was so confused. I was so. Oh, wait, I talked to Anira. She said she wanted to pin it in the wallet.
Oh, how fun.
Oh my God, thank you.
That's so fun.
Yeah,
Alrighty.
All right,
Are we
so
live?
Yes.
GM Farcaster, we're done. FarCon 2025 is a wrap, and we are here with the organizers, Emma and Dylan. Emma's been doing all the things, especially around the summit, and Dylan was sort of the man of FarHack. And so, Emma, let me go to you first.
Okay.
How are you feeling now?
I'm feeling, I mean, I'm up physically, I'm exhausted, but I'm feeling very calm. Like, I think everything went as well as it could have. I think that one of the craziest things about events is that everyone thinks everything runs smoothly and it's all easy.
It was flawless.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Flawless.
Thank you.
Yeah, everything was great.
Yeah, like I think keeping everything on time. I mean, this is, for anyone that knows events, it's like an orchestra, and there's a million different people that are handling different timelines and queues and in and out. And so our production lead, Haley, was absolutely amazing. Oxygen, our production team, was like
Shout out Oxygen.
absolutely amazing. I mean, they built a podcast studio for you. Like they were just incredible and just made it feel really cozy. Like I liked that we were all in one main speaking hall this year with like lights dimmed, full production setup. I feel like that made it feel very real. And it's always nice when you can get 420 people in a room together and all be learning at the
And
same
that's
time.
the number we're going with.
And it is.
Not 37?
Even if it's 417, we don't care. It's 420. Or 437, or whatever it is. Dylan, how did you feel about FarHack? What were your favorite moments? Talk to us about that.
I felt great. The beginning and everything was awesome. Dan and V did a really nice kind of little intro and then Q&A. Horsefax did a great workshop on how to build mini apps. And honestly, my favorite thing of the day was how quickly people are able to hit the ground running and have inspiration. I mean, Adrian, you're a great example. You had an awesome team with Tiago and Graham, I believe, and made a really cool mini app, and just like so many instances of that, so many people coming up in real time and asking for feedback, people collaborating. Like that to me is the spirit of a hackathon, spirit of FarCaster, and just the fact we're able to do that and bring together these people like makes me really happy.
Good. Well, great. I'm so excited to see where we go from here. So, Adrian, what you got? Questions, comments?
I'm just like in awe of you guys. Like it was really well done. I know how much planning goes into it.
A lot.
So I almost think it's unfair to ask you to reflect too much on the day because it's kind of just like
Too
literally
soon.
just wrapped.
Too soon.
So we're gonna get you on a GM and a PM.
Okay, perfect.
When we can spill the tea
Perfect.
and get some insight.
Yeah, we'll do more of a deep dive once we're get a little distance and see how you're feeling. But do you have a favorite moment of today? Off the top of your head.
Well, I'm a bit biased, but
Go ahead.
the Coinbase wallet announcement was pretty awesome to see. That was very exciting for me. Something we've been working very hard towards, and so to be able to share that with this community, like, very honored just from a FarCon perspective, from a personal perspective. That was awesome. I think the beginning as well, when everyone kind of settled in, we got that moment leading into the walkout with Emma's intro. That kind of just like set the stage. Like I felt like you could.
By the
hear
way,
a pin
that was
drop.
my walk-on song suggestion,
It was awesome.
and it won. Thank you.
Yeah, I was praying that Eye of the Tiger didn't win. I know that was another one.
That
of
was
your
another one of my
favorites,
favorites.
But I would have
But
like
also it
died.
would've been
I
weird.
think I would have died if that was the walk-on. I think Hot Ones, which
Yeah.
just happened, was. I mean, Cassie is amazing in so many ways. An amazing host.
Yeah, she was great.
Great
That was
host. I mean, and Rish was a great guest, and that I'm like worried for you guys to get the footage back and
That was
relaxing your
what we can do
standards
with
and
that?
putting that on YouTube.
That was my
Yeah.
favorite.
Yeah,
That
it
was my favorite.
I was really, really glad that we. I
Oh,
think
we're just
that's-
not going to name it that. We'll
Yeah.
find a way.
It's the
Don't worry.
perfect forum. I think like it was a great forum actually for both of them. So I was
Yeah.
really happy with the way that turned out. And I think like you guys were up here. This mezzanine and podcast studio sort of served as the green room for all of the guests in that first speaking block. And that was, I think, I got progressively less nervous about programming as the day went on, which was intentional. Like, let's get through that first like core 90 minutes when all the exciting, sort of like major announcements and keynote are happening. And then we did an hour block of community talks, which were amazing. Every single one of them was like an amazing speaker, looked like a natural on stage. And then, of course, all of like the fun stuff was at the end. But like Fred Wilson, I could listen.
So
like,
good. So
I
good.
can't tell you how many people came up to me and were like, I could listen to him talk all day. Like,
Yeah.
he has so much lore. I mean, that was part of when I was talking to Dan about who, like, I was like, I think a fireside would be interesting. It doesn't have to be about FarCaster. Like, there's so much other context around, like, what we're building and whatever. And it was Dan at first that was like, well, Fred's in New York. Fred's seen Web 1 to Web 2 to Web 3. I feel like
Fred casts all all the time.
And okay, so
Power user.
like he's a real FarCaster.
No, and he's a real user. I mean, I wanted to name that section Highcasters so badly, and I was like, it's just not serious enough for like the time that they're putting into this and donating. But I mean, I want you guys to take that session, and I want you to turn it, obviously, like take the video. I want you to turn it into a podcast. Like I want to walk around. I need to like listen to that like 3 more times.
It will be, and
so
also
brilliant.
there was so much clippable content,
So
like
much great.
short.
Yeah. Like when
clips,
you were sitting up here with me and we're like, why am I not filming this? It's
Yes,
so much.
that was my. I was like, oh my god, that was like a perfect question and a perfect answer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't wait to put that into a short because it was. It was just like, it was really good. A lot of really good advice moments for founders.
Totally.
Through his experience and lessons learned, and I just feel like there's so much good meat in there.
Yeah, and I also should say on that, you guys know, because we were all up here, like, I think Dan was really nervous. Like, he was like going over all of his questions, and he was like, I can't talk. Like, I want to make sure that it was good. And I thought that they covered, like, they did such a good job of covering so many important topics, and none of them were really Farcaster specific necessarily. Like, calling it the big
it was
shift
entrepreneurship
was like, it was like we're going
almost.
from Web 2 to Web 3. Like, what does that look like? That was sort of like the loose framing that we had agreed on. I thought his questions were perfect. Like, I can't wait to listen to that over and over. It was
I
great.
agree.
Yeah,
I agree. There's so many moments in that, but I loved the hot one. I loved everything, but those are my 2 favorite things.
Totally.
Yeah, for sure. No offense. The bounties were good too. And the Coinbase wallet. But I kind of got the announcement yesterday, so it wasn't like a big a moment for me because I was at the Creator House. So I already was on.
But Jesse's so great on stage. Like, obviously,
But he's great.
you know, he is an amazing stage presence and is like a great speaker. But I like that. I think you had said this previously. Like, everyone learning in a room together is very specific. Like, physically in a room together.
Again, what do we call that? It's like it's almost like there's a word.
Yeah,
I think
it's always genius. All roads lead.
All roads lead to genius.
Always. But like having like that collective moment when everyone's, you know, when the QR code goes up and it's like the beta is open for everyone in this room is crazy to be a part of.
That was a big moment. I agree.
Yeah. But the shared experience happening at the same time.
Yeah.
In the same moment, synchronously, like together.
Yeah.
It feels so different.
Totally.
And I think that also like goes to show of not releasing that schedule, because obviously there are some things that we just don't really want to get out ahead of time, like a very special announcement, but it was very intentional because we wanted people to be in the room in this moment, having this shared experience together, and like that made it all more worth it for the keynote, for the fireside with Fred, for everything that's kind of transpired today. Like that's what makes a FarCon what it is to me. Yeah.
Totally.
FarCon 1 was such a community meetup. It was a meetup that we did talks at, and it was great. And I think there's always that kind of like tension between wanting to keep that, but look how much bigger the network is.
Totally.
And turning it into a conference, which is different.
Totally.
So, I don't know, you guys did such a great job.
I think you did a good job of melding the two.
Coziest conference in the world.
Yeah.
And I think on a non...
Cozy conferences.
Cozy conferences. An amazing thing when you get 37 people in a room together.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah.
37 people, that's all we had here today. If you don't know the joke, you know why? Because you're not on Farcaster yet, and you should probably get on. Any last notes before we head off to the next thing and the next thing?
I know.
We got a couple
and we
more
have a whole
things.
weekend ahead of us. Like, it's Friday.
Yeah.
Which is, I feel like we've lived a million years today.
I have to say,
are
like,
you guys involved in planning the party tonight? Because I know it's the official.
It is the
after
official,
party.
yeah. So Bright Moments came to us and was like real. I mean, they know how to throw a party, so we're really eager to do it. So yeah, we definitely helped them in some orchestration, but that's like we did 5%. Like you know, it's like Bright Moments and I believe Stand with Crypto and Zora all came together and they have a great venue. And like we have to rest up for Padel tomorrow. Like, yeah, so, I mean, I cannot believe we have a whole weekend ahead of us. Like, I need to survive this loadout, but it was such a, like, amazing day. I mean, great weather. I mean, a little too hot for me, but, like, great weather.
Beautiful
great
weather.
Vibes, yeah.
Too hot.
I know, you're so Floridian. Like, it's way too hot for me.
Like, is it even 80 degrees? Like, it's not hot.
It was like snowing
82?
a month ago.
I'm sorry. Talk to me when you get to 95. Okay, whatever.
Well, that's why we don't do it in July.
I know.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah. I'm super excited.
But this is, it was amazing. I'm really excited for what's left to come over the weekend. But thank you for all the work. No one has a clue. I was here yesterday. Like, it was a blast.
Prof
turned into
walked
this,
in and
it
was
was
like,
amazing.
"Am I in the right location?" Like
Yeah,
it looked
I'm like, we're not as far along as I thought we'd be at this point.
It
but
looked
it's
like a
okay.
scrap model yard.
Yeah.
I mean, I will also say, like, shout out to Lefty Studio that worked on all of Base Loft. I had no idea.
It was incredible.
I had seen designs and I was super excited, but I walked in and it was a woodworking shop. Like everything was getting assembled. Like by hand. They came in early this morning and were doing florals. Like the attention to detail there was amazing. And I think a really cool evolution from like that base blue, very like bases here. I mean, a year ago, can you believe it was basically like a thing a year ago, and now it's base loft and the integration. It's all about
They just keep
I know it just keeps. I know it keeps getting reinvented. I mean, that was, I guess, like closing thought. I obviously did not prepare my remarks, and I'm a little scared to watch them back. But I was reflecting. I was reflecting a lot this morning about how, like, FarCon is like, I don't even know if we want to call it a CCO brand because I don't think that a lot of people consider it a brand. Like it's sort of like the super organic thing. But one of the most amazing things about it being CCO and community organized and community run and very like and like liberally taken to be whatever you want it to be is that like it can constantly be reinvented with the times or the meta or whatever else is going on. And I think that that is maybe like the most exciting and maybe the most encouraging thing about this is like you can see how distinct each of the last FarCons were, and it just adapts to the moment really well.
And the location.
And the location.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, thank
Ready
you
to
both.
pass-
Incredible.
Ready to pass the baton?
I think so. We'll see what it is. It's, I mean, the protocol's getting, it's big.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
even
don't know.
this was the largest size we could accommodate without being in like a Marriott
Center.
ballroom or the Javits Center. Correct. Yeah. And I think like
Without going full Javits.
No, not yet.
Yeah.
But also like we wanted like we talked to like I think 120 people just in like the last year and like the 6 months after the first FarCon around like what did you like, what could have been better, what and everyone's answer was like the people, like it was nothing else, it was always about people. And Grin actually has given us like a lot of good advice and a lot of good support around like curating the right room and the right vibe and the right people. And so I think like it shows you that 400 people can be cozy.
100%.
But the next iteration is, I think, going to be bigger, or we're going to start breaking out into different FarCons and maintain a certain size. So I'm interested to see what that looks like.
Yeah, I agree that people make it. Like the end result of a FarCon is you want this great shared experience with a lot of people. But another great thing about a FarCon is the shared experience you have with the small group of people that make a FarCon happen. And Emma spearheaded the way on this. She put us in this, chat, and we all kind of came together and did this piece by piece. And with any FarCon, you have to actually put in the time and want that thing to come to life. And as you do it, it becomes something really fun that we get to do together. The shared experience. And so I'm just very thankful for that experience, and very thankful, Emma, for all of the amazing work you've done to kind of shepherd us and get us here today.
Because FarCaster requires proof of
You
work.
can say what the group is called.
The Farcaball.
Farcaball.
And on that note,
everyone,
awesome.
bye-bye.
Thanks,
Happy caballing.
guys. GM.